Hey everyone, it's Alicia and I would like to welcome you to a brand new episode of In the Loop. Now, as you may have been able to guess from the title of this video today, I'm going to be telling you about the 4 interviews I was most nervous, anxious, and excited for. Now, when I first started this site, I was nervous for every single interview that I did. And I don't mean like an anxious, excited nervous, I mean an absolute stress ball where beforehand I would kind of shake, sweaty palms. It was just one of those things where I was just starting to converse with people on camera, so I was pretty nervous. But now, over the years, I have learned to channel those nerves into excitement, just pure excitement for every single interview. And as I interview more and more people, I also realize that there's a big commonality. If you don't have nerves and that anxiety, maybe it means that you just don't care. Nerves can be a really good thing. So today I am so excited to share with you the 4 interviews that I was most nervous for. Before we get to the list, remember to subscribe to AMBY, like this video, and drop me a comment with the interviews you think I was most excited for, or the interviews that you were most stoked to see on AMBY. Alright, let's do it. Alright, so narrowing this list down was extremely difficult because I've been so excited for so many AMBY interviews, as within my 4-ish years of doing this, I've interviewed over 2,000 people between the phoners, emailers, and of course the in-person video interviews with wrestlers and musicians. So interviewee number 1 for this list has to be Chris Jericho. There were so many reasons going into this. I was super anxious and excited. Excited being the biggest word here because I've been watching Chris Jericho on TV since I can remember. I started watching wrestling since I was about 2 or 3 years old, so he was really just a household name growing up, and I always remember watching him and thinking, this guy is amazing. Something that I really admire about this man is if he puts his mind to something, he will try his damnedest to execute it. And between being a New York Times bestseller, frontman, amazing, legendary wrestler, I mean, it's Chris Jericho. I cannot believe that he was on AMBY. A great thing about this interview is we cover so many topics. We talk about the new Fozzy album, we talk about horror films, we talk about the upcoming boat cruise that he has where you can sail away, man. It was just one of those great chats where I just kind of felt like I was shooting the shit with somebody that I knew, which is such a cool feeling when you get to interview somebody that you look up to. Interviewee number 2 is Robert Trujillo from Metallica. You have no idea how much I freaked out and did a massive party dance when I firmed up this interview. Metallica is one of the, if not the biggest metal band in the whole world, so well respected, and they are just a badass band who have been on my list since I first started this website. This was one of those interviews that was so big I just could not screw it up, or I would come out of that interview looking like the biggest douche ever. I'm just being real with you guys. So I had so many things running through my brain before I was sitting down on that couch with Robert. This was one of those interviews where I truly didn't believe it was going to happen until he was right in front of me. They're such a legendary band, and you never know with interviews, because I've done some with indie bands where you're supposed to have it and then they just end up not being able to do it or something gets delayed. So I always have that little person in my head going like, just be prepared. Don't be doubtful, but just be ready in case it doesn't come through, because it was just one of those dreams that you didn't want to get shattered, you know? But it happened. He walked through those doors. We sat down and had a great convo covering all things Metallica. So I was nervous. I didn't screw it up, and it ended up being one of the fondest moments of my career. Interviewee number 3 is Bully Ray, or Bubba Ray Dudley. This man is not only a wrestling icon, but is also one half of one of the greatest tag teams of all time, the Dudley Boys. I was at Ring of Honor interviewing a ton of amazing New Japan Pro Wrestling and Ring of Honor talent, and ended up firming this interview with Bully Ray last minute on site. Because of that, I was very nervous going into the interview, but in my defense, this man is known for being a bit of a hard ass, is super hardcore in the squared circle, and of course puts people through tables for a living. Even though I had those nerves going into the interview, you guessed it, they were totally turned into excitement, and this ended up being such a fun interview. He busted my balls the whole video, which I loved. It totally kept me on my toes, and I have to say I snuck in a couple of comments there which made him laugh, which made me feel pretty good. I think my favorite part of the interview though was near the end, where he said he was looking for a table to put me through, scanned the room, said there were many, but then said he probably shouldn't because I'll just bounce right off of it. And now we are at interviewee number 4, who is Omar Rodriguez Lopez. This man is a musical genius who I still am so excited that I got to pick the brain of. He has also been in legendary groups like At the Drive-In, the Mars Volta, Bosnian Rainbows, and Crystal Fairy. My friend Terry from the Butcherettes helped me firm up this interview as she was actually touring with At the Drive-In. Now, there was some pressure going into this interview for a few reasons. One, I've heard stories where Omar's actually walked out of interviews because he didn't like the questions or didn't vibe with the interviewer well, actually taken the mic off. Another reason is because my friend hooked this up for me and I totally did not want to let Terry down. And the third reason was mainly because Omar doesn't do a lot of interviews. Going into this one, I thought it would maybe last, like most AMBY interviews, like 8 to 10 minutes, but I'd ask a question and he would just spill out these super creative and clever answers. He is just an absolutely brilliant man with such a clever mind. So the interview ended up being about 20-25 minutes and I enjoyed every single second of it. So there you have it. Those are the 4 interviews that I was most anxious / nervous / excited for. I hope you understand as well after watching this that nerves can be a really great thing. I used to think that I was a little bit crazy being a few years into the game, still getting those butterflies in my stomach, and then I would interview famous wrestlers, famous musicians, and they would tell me that even some of them decades doing this, they still get nerves, and nerves can be a beautiful thing, meaning that you give a shit. So there you have it. Those are the 4. I want to say thank you, as always, for watching this vlog. I have so much fun filming these, and I'm coming up with some more ideas, but if you have any ideas as to what type of vlogs you would like me to film, let me know and I will get on it. That's it. Thank you for watching. You guys are seriously the best. Remember to subscribe to AMBY for all exclusive interviews, features, videos, and so much more. Like this video, and of course, drop me a comment. I'll see you guys next time on In the Loop. Mwah.